So it would be a button you would have to push on Facebook
Okay.
to get the contact information.
Okay, I'm new to the game, so when I see this stuff, I look for certain things, and I don't know if I know all the procedures, but it's important that we know who posted it, how we
Yep.
get a hold of them for any further information.
And as soon as you figure it out, Facebook changes everything up on you. So they keep you on your toes.
It's like going to the city.
That's not bad feedback. Sometimes when you're posting stuff, particularly with ads, you can throw a button on there that says "call us" or something
Right.
like that.
Book
That's
now.
I'm sure they're going to use. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Errol will be giving this report from here on out. So this is my farewell
All right.
marketing report here. So I want to start off first with kind of the elephant in the room, which is the parking lot and the update of how it's going. If you go out there and you look, it's been paved, the cement looks great, the lines are painted, they just happen to have the handicap spots on the wrong side of the parking lot. So they painted them down on the jailhouse end when it's supposed to be down on the convention center end. Everybody's been contacted, nobody's happy about it, but we are working on getting it fixed. For the stuff that's going in the middle, the night sky certified lighting has been approved and is going in. It has a historic, nice looking curvature to it, so it kind of keeps that historic look. There's been trees that have been chosen, so we are going to go ahead and go with trees as opposed to metal art in between, and we figured that out, so we'll have a tree that flowers in the springtime and a tree that has color in the fall time, and we'll alternate those, so it'll look good. Those will go in between the lights, and then there will still be art on the bookends of the parking lot, so it'll be rusty metal forms, boulders, things like that, xeriscape, things like that. So that's the parking lot update. We're getting that fixed up. From social media, we're starting our Facebook campaigns again. We've kind of been in the shoulder season, so if you look, things have kind of just like trended down as activity trended down, but it's actually starting to trend back up again because we're posting about winter activities. We've got all this great new content, videos, stuff like that. So Facebook's up about 15 followers, 2,600. Instagram was up 64 followers. We're almost to 1,500. Twitter's moving nicely now that Errol's posting on it more and more. And then I'll show you the 3 videos that we uploaded to YouTube just recently. Our targeted digital campaign, we had 5 out. We went ahead this last month, we narrowed it down to 4. So we're doing targeted digital and geofencing for the West. We're still doing our YouTube targeted, our Las Vegas specific targeting, and then Facebook retargeting. The targeted West and the YouTube targeting both went crazy this last month. It almost doubled in the activity that we had gotten. So you can tell that we're coming out of that shoulder season and people are starting to look for winter vacations. We've switched over all of our media, so it shows snow now and not golf courses and snowmobile, so it looks seasonal. The Las Vegas ad is kind of holds steady at about 74,000 impressions a month, and then Facebook retargeting at about 1,400, but we're not really spending a lot of money on that one. Website definitely, same thing, kind of trended down, about 3,500 sessions over the last month, but the calendar looks really good thanks to Errol and his work. We completed featured events pages for both Fire and Ice and the Ely Film Festival. We corrected some glitches on the contact page. We uploaded all the audio for the murals that was recorded as part of a Great Basin Heritage Grant of doing audio recordings of the story of certain murals, and so those audio files are now on the website, so when you go to it, you can hear Glenn Terry reading you about the mural. That's also going on a phone tour, and after Vegas we were even talking about the possibility of virtual reality and using some of that new technology. The featured event on the homepage is Santa's Reindeer Flyer for the month. From a press standpoint, in December, I plan on sending out the first tourism newsletter to all of the contacts that we got at the Governor's Conference, and I have been talking with East River PR firm, and I believe we're going to sign a 6-month contract with them for doing PR services about getting a lot of this content that we've been doing out into the media's hands and getting more press up here and more media first stories. They've done a great job with the train, and so we're going to try to piggyback off of that one. From a print standpoint, we did reprint the top 10 brochures, so we have those back. If you notice, there's the Happy Holidays banner on the side of the convention center. The facilities guide is still moving forward, just still hunting people down for information on their facilities. The mountain bike brochure is about to go out to print. I'll be sending out a lodging postcard here at the end of the year, kind of as like just reaching out to the lodging properties and keeping them engaged. And then the winter postcard, you never got it because the printer lost the file. And so we're redoing it with the events that are relevant now, and we will be sending out our winter postcard next week. So that's why that did not happen, but it looks amazing. From a grant standpoint, projects related to tourism is currently what Travel Nevada has open. So that's not for marketing purposes, that's for actual capital improvement type stuff related to tourism. A lot of people have suggested different signage projects, window clean stickers on some of the vacant buildings that promote our assets. Those are all things that you can apply for through projects related to tourism. So anything that would be capital improvement related. And then we're going ahead and submitting our reimbursement for the 360 video, which was one of the grants we got last time, that I'm going to show here. Upcoming events, December 2nd through 5th, that's next week, Festival of Trees. Then you got your tree auction on Friday, December 6th. The holiday craft fair and parade and tree lighting is on the 7th. The cash fundraising concert with Ramon, I'm trying to remember his last name, but the violin player from Elvis Monroe will be here on December 11th. Fire and Ice is scheduled for the 17th through the 19th of January. We are going to be doing events that Friday, so it'll be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as opposed to just the the Saturday and Sunday before. And then the Rotary Ice Fishing Derby is the following week. So if I could, we've got on our smart TV YouTube up, and I want to go ahead and show our 3 new videos that have just been put up that we're going to start promoting.
Okay if we move?
It's okay if you move.
Okay, does Marietta have these?
Okay, Mariette, I sent her the link. So right now what we're doing is the winter fun one.
Okay, I'll click on that now.
Okay, so this was shot last year with by James Adamson. This was a grant that we got from Travel Nevada. So this was thanks to them, and it was also the Polaris rep for Wyoming came out and brought a bunch of additional like 2020 prototype Polarises. So in addition to this video, he also took about 300 pictures for his marketing purposes of the snowmobiles that we also were able to use. So bonus, we got a video and we got about 300 really killer pictures.
Hey, Marietta, if you're gonna play it, maybe mute your phone so it doesn't double up on the audio.
No, I did not. You know what, Ian, I did not. Question, Kyle, is that you in the video?
Yeah, so it's me, Sean Wilson.
Four Seas Grounds. In the wintertime, it's amazing.
Wow.
The contrast to the desert and limestone rocks and snow. It makes for this unbelievable area to go explore with your friends.
So this is up on Cave Mountain. That's his last name's Henroyd. He's the one that runs the cattle out in Spring Valley. And then John Chachis.
Pretty amazing in the wintertime. You know, when you look at the valleys down below, kind of brown sagebrush, the dirt's dry, people are riding their bikes in the wintertime. But you look up into the mountains and there's these huge bowls, just huge powder fields.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, if you're looking for isolation in the mountains, you found it right out here. But when you come back to town, it's a great base camp. The town's open year-round. We've got restaurants, coffee shops, gaming.
You know, Wheeler Peak in the background.
I feel like Neely's best kept secret is exactly where we're at, Cave Lake State Park. And this place is amazing in the summertime with paddleboarding and fishing and hiking and mountain biking. But in the wintertime, the skiing and the snowmobiling and the backcountry snowboarding is amazing. I mean, these are some of the best turns you could have in the entire state of Nevada. So even though this place is isolated, I mean, the potential hasn't even really fully been tapped yet. the reason the locals live out here and the exact reason why people want to come out and visit. It's friendly people, it's a great town, and the mountains, this is the best outdoor recreation in the state.
All right.
Do you have popcorn?
Yeah, really.
All right, so our next one is going to be the grant project that we got from Travel Nevada, which was the Renaissance Village 360 video. And so this, you can actually click and drag your screen and get a 360 view. And we had Angela McVickers and her daughter, and we had a couple of kids from the Boys and Girls Club come through. And so if you had virtual reality goggles, you could actually watch this video and turn your head and, yeah, look around. This is my favorite scene.
Talk about sisters.
Right? Do it, do it. The houses are labeled, just sometimes it's in the screen or it's not in the screen.
Cool.
But that's pretty cool technology, and again, you know, that's one of those things where if we went to a show, we could bring virtual reality goggles and we could play that video for tour operators and people like that. And the whole idea with this one is we also did audio recordings from Glenn telling the stories of the houses as well. So the idea is, you know, people should be able to experience the Renaissance Village and the stories, even if there isn't a docent up there at the time to go ahead and tell the story. So trying to just preserve everything now while we can, and, you know, give an online experience if they can't do it in person. All right, one more, and this is the one I'm super stoked on because nobody has seen this one yet. And this is the brand new Fire and Ice video. This is the long version. We've also got a minute-long social edit as well, but I'm going to play the long one.
And we're doing the Mercantiner Fat Tire Bike Race.
Fat tire for the snow.
The outdoors, this is the place to be.
It's quite incredible to be able to experience. It's pretty cool.
Go to Shorty's food truck and have some food.
Beautiful trees, beautiful scenery, a variety of terrain. It was awesome today.
Great skiing, especially when you get back up into the back part of it. It's just trees after trees with snow. It's really, really gorgeous up there. I'm excited for all the events. There's lots of things going on this weekend.
I'm hoping to do the snowshoe excursion.
Bowling, karaoke, darts, ice horseshoes, ice bowling.
Oh yeah, ice skating.
Audio's a little off for the streaming, but it's actually works otherwise.
Well, have you heard we heard that? Yeah, that's good.
We're sitting on top of about 14 inches of solid ice. Plenty to get on here. That's my sculptures.
And we're not professional sculptors or artists per se. We just have a few people with a little bit of talent. We put something together. The weather is beautiful. It got below zero last night. We got everything pretty solid.
I just stand back and go, wow, that's impressive.
And then tonight there's a firework train. We're going to let fireworks off the back of the steam engine.
Where else do they shoot fireworks off the train? Nowhere else.
And it brings everybody together in a common place. So whether you're outdoors or indoors, everybody can participate. Doesn't matter what you expect, you're gonna get the unexpected. Bring your skis, bring your fat bikes, bring your snowshoes, bring your ice skates. Get ready to have a great time. It's full of adventure.
Oh, you gotta come up and do this, it's so fun.
Yeah, we love it. Always has been. We love it.
I think this weekend is Ely's best winter weekend. It's gorgeous in the mountains.
Shouldn't miss it. Bring the family. It's just a lot of fun. It's beautiful here.
Wow.
Outstanding.
So yeah, so that's kind of what we've been working on. I kept saying, you know, it's coming, it's coming. Well, it finally happened. So I hope you guys like them, and we will definitely be putting some paid promotion behind these videos for sure. And that's it. That's my marketing report. Any questions?
Big shoes. Big shoes for Errol to
Thank you very
fill.
much.
I'm confident. I'm confident in them.
Wow, thank you, Errol, and thank you, Kyle, for this great job. Wow. Okay, item 3, old business. Item 1, discussion on the parking lot subcommittee.
We went ahead and went over that, so.
We're done, okay. Item 2, discussion only, White Pine Golf Course, Board Member McIntosh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're buttoned up at the golf course, except waiting for snow so we can cross-country ski.
All right. Okay, item 3, discussion only, White Pine Trails update.
I'll update for Brian. I know the Trails Alliance is working with Main Street in branding for the trail signs. So utilizing the Main Street logo that they came up with and working with Division of Forestry and BLM so that there can be signage up on the trails that coincide with the trailheads that are going in downtown and the directional signs and everything like that. So the branding is cohesive. So no new trail development as the snow's falling, but working on some signage.
Okay. Item 4, discussion only, Nevada Northern Railroad update. Mark Bassett.
Good afternoon, everyone. The big news is October was our 35th anniversary. We've been there, and we did a special edition of our newsletter, and I'm passing them out, and I'll save you a copy, Marietta.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, sir.
you're very welcome. Here you go, George.
Thank you.
The October was a busy month. We are working very diligently on locomotive 81. The shop forces got 3 of the 4 axles underneath her. So we got a little more work to do, and we'll be able to get locomotive, the 4th axle underneath it too. In October, we carried 1,366 passengers. It's a slight decrease from the previous year. One of the reasons is we dropped one of the haunted ghost trains. We did 4 trains rather than 5, and we did this at the request of our volunteers. Instead of staggering the trains every Saturday through October, we did the last Friday and Saturday of October. I'm working on the 2020 schedule right now to take advantage of those open weekends. We're working with the Ghost Riders to do a Harvest Festival train. And we're gonna get rid of pumpkins and go pick up a pumpkin with it. Well, yeah, we're gonna see how that works. There was a great article in the Nevada Independent on how stargazing themed train ride is boosting tourism in rural Nevada. That article actually came about because Serendipity, Travel Nevada asked us, they were bringing a Chinese fam group to Ely, they wanted to do something with them. They were coming in the evening, so there's no sense in firing up the steam locomotive going back and forth. We came up with the idea of doing a star train for them. And Tour and Rec in the past has purchased our telescopes, so we had our own telescopes. And also, you know, we have a wonderful stargazing pad, thank you Tour and Rec. And so as the FAM tour came up, also we had staff from the Nevada Independent come up too. And I said, would you like to ride the train? And they said yes. So they went out and we got this wonderful story there. Again, speaking of the star trains, we got 18 for 2020 and they are sold out. Working with staff, we are going to do a new train in 2020 and it is Sunset Stars in Champaign. We're going to do that on Saturday nights at 7:30 and we're going to run up to the end of the line up at Adverse, watch the sun go down, and then just come slowly back into town using smartphones to look at the sky and match the stars with what's out there. We won't be bringing the telescopes on that. It'll be a different experience. And we'll have a little champagne out there too. The other thing too is we have been working on our 1956 Pontiac station wagon, which the railroad had, and it debuted at the Nevada Day Parade in Carson City.
What a great day.
What a great day. It really went well. The car was very, very well received. It gathered a lot of attention, and which is exactly one of the reasons why we did this. So we're doing some final touch-ups on it, and we're not sure if we're going to bring right now it's in Sparks doing the final touch-ups. We're working with the Auto Museum in Reno to see if they'll display it over the course of the winter, and then we'll bring it home in April. So we're pretty excited by that. And then we are no longer doing the Polar Express. We're doing Santa's Reindeer Flyer, and last weekend was the first weekend of that, and we carried 90 passengers. Last year we carried 94 on the same weekend. This weekend coming up we're taking a hit because of the weather. We've received a lot of cancellations. Again, the vast majority of our customers for this come up from Las Vegas. The crew did a great job on decorating the train. They also put lights on the locomotive too, and it looks really cool at night. The other thing is, until the end of the year, the locomotive that we normally use to power this train is locomotive 204. We've renumbered it 1225 until the end of the year. So we had magnetic signs made up and put it right underneath the engineer's window there. So,
Do people get it?
They will slowly, and but there's a big sign right underneath the window. There's photos on our. If you ever need any photos or anything, we got thousands. Either Eric or myself can provide them for you, and feel free to rip off our Facebook page.
Already did.
Good. But there's a photo on the Facebook page with the engineer stick his head out with a Santa hat right over 1225 Reindeer Flyer.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then Eric, and I gotta give Eric for this, after everyone sees Santa, as we come back to town, there is a little lull. And Eric said, why don't we have a snowball fight? And I go, huh? And apparently you can get these Nerf snowballs. And so he did, and there's a video on our Facebook page of the first snowball fight on board, and it really went over very, very well. It was a lot of fun, and they were very clever on how they got the snowballs back, because they just literally threw them out into the car. And when they were done, as they were getting close to the depot, they said, all right, throw them at the chefs. So everyone threw the snowballs at the chefs, they captured them.
Nice.
And a good time was had by all. We are in the process of doing our 2020 schedule. And as I mentioned, we are bringing in a second evening train. We're very curious how that's going to work. We're limiting that train to 56 people. We're actually going to use Coach 9 and the flat car from Tour Rec as its train set there. So I'm pretty interested. The other thing that's developing too, we've gotten phone calls from tour operators that want to do Star Train charters. So we're experimenting on that too. And Eric did go to the Dark Skies conference and made a lot of connections down in Tucson earlier this month. So it promises to be a very exciting 2020. So does anyone have any questions at all?
Yeah, I won't ask because it did come up, and I know I want to hear about it. The book for the Santa's Reindeer Flyer that was granted. Could you speak to kind of what the plans are for that?
We couldn't quite get it done, so we're going to use it next year. We got some of the art done and everything, but we were rushing, and I just didn't want to put out a product that we weren't proud of.
Oh, absolutely.
So
you are still working on it?
Oh yes, we're still working on it.
Should be done by end of fiscal year?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, that way we have time. We actually, we have written the story. The short version is there's a crisis at the North Pole. All the reindeers have the reindeer flu, Rudolph too. So Santa can't deliver his gifts, and here at the Nevada Northern Railway, we have no coal for the steam locomotives. So who has coal but Santa for the bad boys and girls? So we work.
That's an interesting twist.
Yeah. So the not so bad boys and girls don't get coal, but we do. So that's what we're working on. But we have the concept laid out, and we just couldn't get her done in time. So
And that it's better than putting out a bad product.
oh yeah, and so this year we are doing the night before Christmas, and that seems to have worked quite well.
Is that royalty free?
Yes, well, we have our ASCAP license.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Yeah, so we're covered there, so.
Thanks,
Well,
Mark.
you're very welcome.
Mark, thank you very much for that excellent report, and thanks to Eric for his creativity as well.
Oh, yes, I was a little nervous about the snowballs, but it worked quite well, so we'll have to see how it goes through the course of the season.
Great stuff. Okay, item 5, discussion only, White Pine Public Museum update.
Marietta, they sent an email in just before the meeting with their report, so I'll go ahead and read it. There's copies of it here on the table if anybody wants to follow along. Their volunteer hours for the last quarter are 407.5 hours. They've been holding events for different organizations. There aren't those organizations listed, but they just say they've been holding events for different organizations, so being a venue. They've got 2 local artists up that have their photographs on display. So Trudy Hollinger and Sandra Reed were from the past 2 months, and their new artist is up now. They're doing their annual meeting on January 11th at 2 p.m. Their guest speaker will be Dustin.